What is going on, Jet fans? Matt O'Leary back with another video. Today we're going to talk about the New York Jets offense. They are in an absolutely brutal spot after we found out yesterday that Garrett Wilson will miss the next couple of weeks. Unfortunately, towards the end of the game against the Denver Broncos, Garrett Wilson hyperextended his knee and is expected to miss a couple of weeks. Now, I guess a positive spin here is the Jets bye week is coming up. They play the Carolina Panthers this week at home, and then they go on the road against the Cincinnati Bengals, and then the bye. So I think it's pretty fair to expect Garrett Wilson out of the bye week when they play the Cleveland Browns. But for the next two games, the Jets offense, which was in a pretty tough spot against Denver, it's kind of screwed. With how the Jets constructed their roster, they were not in a good spot if Garrett Wilson had to miss anytime. And unfortunately, like I said, it's expected that he's going to miss a couple of weeks here. So let's take a look at the rest of the wide receiver room, because Garrett Wilson has 36 catches for 395 yards and 4 touchdowns. Now, not including tight ends, not including the running backs. Here's a look at the other wide receivers the Jets have and what they've done this year. Josh Reynolds, the next leading receiver, at 8 catches for 72 yards. Tyler Johnson, 4 catches for 63 yards. Allen Lazard, 4 catches for 24 yards. And Arian Smith, 4 catches for 24 yards. Ew. Brandon Smith was elevated before the last game and played, although I don't believe he had a reception against the Denver Broncos, but that's another wide receiver who I would imagine would make up the 5 active guys. So Reynolds, Johnson, Lazard, Smith, and Brandon Smith. That's not a competitive group of wide receivers. And I fear what this Jets offense will look like the next 2 weeks. I really do. This is kind of just a repeat of the infamous 2018 graphic all over again with Sam Darnold's rookie year in Chicago when they were trotting out there Jermaine Kearse, Andre Roberts, Rashard Matthews, Deontay Burnett, and Sharon Peake. This is just as bad, maybe if not worse. Jermaine Kearse at least had it wasn't great in 2018, but had a really productive 2017 season for the Jets. The point of the story here is they have absolutely nobody for Justin Fields to throw the ball to at wide receiver. It's going to be a heavy dosage of Mason Taylor, I would imagine, in the passing game for the next couple of weeks. But if I'm Carolina, I'm putting 9 in the box. Why? Like, beat me over the top. Go ahead. Who are you throwing the ball to? The Jets are trotting out 3 number 4 receivers in this game. Arian Smith's been a complete non-factor. He's your 4th receiver. Then you have Brandon Smith, who, nice story, but is he ready to take on that role when there's no other wide receivers that have done anything so far this year? It's a really tough spot, man. It's a really tough spot for this Jets offense. Guys, fall's here, crisp air, football, maybe a bonfire or two. But if you're like most guys, you're still putting in the hard work. And yeah, that means sweat. Don't let body odor sideline you. Mando deodorant plus sweat control is for real working guys, formulated to stop odor before it starts, and doesn't mask odor with the overwhelming fragrance, so you can tackle anything from the job site to tailgating with confidence. Don't mask it, Mando it. Mando Starter Pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, the Cream Tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get 20% off site-wide with our exclusive code. Use code O'Leary at shopmando.com for 20% off. Thank you for Mando. They've been a long-time sponsor of the channel. You've heard me talk about how much I love the bourbon leather body spray or the bourbon leather body wash. If you're going to buy one of the two, or buy anything on the site, I definitely recommend something of the bourbon leather, whether it's the body spray or the body wash. So thanks for Mando to sponsoring. And to make matters worse, Carolina's a really good run defense. So it's not even like, hey, they're going up against a team that can't really stop the run. So yeah, everyone in the world knows the Jets are going to be running the ball this week because they're missing Garrett Wilson. They do that anyway, even when Garrett's here. But, Carolina, they're a team that's not very good against the run. That's not the case. They've given up the 9th fewest rushing yards in the NFL. And they're the 12th rated defense in EPA per rush. So top half of the league in both of those categories against the run. So Breece Hall did not have all that much going on the ground on Sunday. He had 22 carries and averaged under, I think it was under 3 yards a carry. we're going to see another heavy dosage of Breece Hall, but I don't expect it to be one of those games where it was like against the Dallas Cowboys where he was productive, averaged over 8 yards a carry. Now, this is probably going to be one of those games where he's averaging 2.5 to 3.5 yards per carry. The Jets offense is going to, have to grind it out. It's not going to be pretty. And I'm happy that the defense seemed to finally, play well against Denver from this past week. But that's the outlier right now. That can't be what everyone is thinking is the norm until they prove that they could do it multiple weeks in a row. And if the Jets want to have any chance of winning this game, they're going to need their defense to play exactly like it did against Denver. I hope it does, right? I hope it's as simple as Jermaine Johnson's back, Jarvis Brownlee comes in, Malachi Moore at safety, Kiko Mauangoa continues his strong play from a week ago. The whole thing. I really do. I hope that was all it took, and the defense finally hits its stride and is pretty good the rest of the way. That would be a major win. If that's not the case, right, like if the defense gives up more than 14 points, which is really an unfair ask of your defense, I don't see how you win this game. I really don't. And Carolina's 3-3. They're better than I think most people expected them to be so far in the season. They just beat Dallas. They're definitely a significantly better home team than they are on the road. And the Jets are playing at home this week. I don't know how much that matters, though, when, again, they don't have any threat of a passing offense for the next 2 weeks. And, you're going up against Carolina and Cincinnati without Joe Burrow. I guess Cincinnati's defense isn't really all that good, so maybe you're looking at a different story in 2 weeks from now. But even still, like, you're going to be limping into the bye week with the amount of injuries that you have and are dealing with right now. And, I can't in good faith come on here and say, despite, Garrett Wilson not playing, I think the Jets are going to win this game. This actually had a major swing on the point spread. The Jets were 1.5 point favorites at home. And then after the news of the Garrett Wilson injury, they're now 1.5 point underdogs. So we'll get into more of the full preview for this game on Thursday, like we always do. But, after the news came out, we did 2 videos yesterday already, but I just kind of wanted to get my thoughts out this morning on the Jets offense without Garrett Wilson. Unfortunately, I just don't think it projects well for this team the next couple of weeks. And, I wish, again, that I could come on and say that, everything's going to be fine. They're going to have this guy step up and that guy step up. I don't really have that faith right now. They need to prove it to me before I get to that spot. So thank you guys for tuning in. I'm Matt O'Leary. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll catch you next time.